You're at home and your dog is doing great. Sit, stay, heel, clean, and reliable. Then you walk to the park, a stranger glances over, and suddenly your hands are stiff, your breathing is shallow, and you've forgotten every technique you've ever learned. Your dog hasn't changed. The environment has. But here's what nobody tells you: your dog didn't pick up on the distraction first. They picked up on you. And that invisible signal you sent in the half-second before you even opened your mouth. That's the real reason training breaks down in public. Not your dog, you. Let us talk about something that almost nobody in the dog training world addresses directly. Handler anxiety. Not your dog's anxiety, yours. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most training advice is built around fixing the dog. New cues, better timing, higher value treats, more repetitions. And sure, all of that matters. But if you've ever felt completely competent at home, and then completely useless the moment a neighbor walks by or a kid on a bike cuts across your path, then you already know that something else is going on. Something that has nothing to do with your dog's training history and everything to do with what's happening inside your body in that moment. The tension in your grip, the slight hesitation before you give a cue, the way you hold your breath without realizing it. Your dog reads all of it, every single signal, and they make decisions based on what you are communicating, not what you think you are communicating. In this video, we are going to break down exactly why training collapses in public, what your dog is actually responding to when it does, and how to rebuild your confidence so that you become a consistent, reliable handler no matter who's watching. This isn't just about better obedience. It's about transforming the walk or the training session from something you quietly dread into something you actually look forward to. Let us get into it. So let us start with the mechanism. Why does handler anxiety actually affect your dog's behavior? Because to understand the fix, you need to understand what's breaking. Your dog is a master at reading biological cues, not words, not intentions, biology. When you feel anxious, your body produces a measurable physiological response. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tighten. Your movement patterns change, smaller steps, faster pace, more erratic directional shifts. Your voice pitch rises slightly. Your breathing becomes irregular. And your grip on the leash, this is the big one, changes tension completely. Your dog feels every single one of those signals through the leash, through your posture, through your energy. And their nervous system responds to yours. This isn't metaphysical. It's documented in animal behavior research. Dogs are extraordinarily sensitive to human emotional states. They have co-evolved with us for tens of thousands of years, specifically to read our signals. So when you tense up because a stranger is watching, your dog doesn't think, "Oh, that's just my human being self-conscious." They think, "Something is wrong. My handler is alarmed. I should be on alert too." And just like that, before you've given a single cue, before you've asked for a single behavior, your dog is already in a heightened arousal state. And a dog in heightened arousal is a dog that cannot learn and cannot perform reliably. That's not a training failure. That's biology. Short start here's the thing most people never consider. Your dog isn't blowing you off when training falls apart in public. They're responding to the handler you've become in that moment. The tight grip, the shallow breath, the stiff shoulders. You've just told them with your entire body that something is threatening nearby. So why would they settle into a calm heel? Why would they hold a stay? You've already communicated danger, and your dog believed you. This is why you can drill a behavior 1,000 times at home and watch it evaporate the second you step in front of an audience. It's not the behavior that's broken. It's the signal channel between you and your dog that's flooded with noise. Your anxiety is the noise. Short end. So now that we understand the mechanism, let us talk about what actually happens in real public training situations and how to address each layer. Layer 1, the performance trap. The first thing that happens when someone is watching is that you stop training your dog and start performing for the audience. This is subtle but devastating. When you are performing, your focus splits. Half of it is on your dog. The other half is on what the stranger thinks of you, whether your dog is going to embarrass you, whether you look like you know what you are doing. And split focus means inconsistent cues, inconsistent timing, and inconsistent energy. Your dog gets confused, and confused dogs do not perform well. The fix here is a concept called training tunnel vision. Before you step into any public space, you set a deliberate intention. The only thing that exists in this session is you and your dog. Not the couple on the bench, not the person with their phone out, not your neighbor who definitely saw what just happened. Just the two of you. This sounds simple. It requires real practice. Start by naming it internally every single time you feel your focus drift. Performance trap. Just those two words, silently, as a reset cue for yourself. Over time, that internal cue becomes as automatic as any cue you've trained your dog to respond to. Layer 2. Cue contamination. This one is technical but crucial. When you train at home in a calm state and then attempt the same behaviors in public while anxious, you are not giving the same cues. You think you are, but the tone of your voice is different. The body language accompanying your cue is different. The leash pressure is different. From your dog's perspective, the cue has changed. And a cue that has changed is a cue they haven't fully learned yet. This is why so many handlers say, "He knows this at home," and they are right. He does know it at home. He knows the calm handler version of the cue. He hasn't been trained on the anxious handler version because that version wasn't practiced. The solution is deliberate anxiety exposure training for yourself, not your dog. You need to practice giving cues while uncomfortable. Start small. Ask a friend to stand nearby and watch while you run a training session. Notice where your voice changes. Notice where your timing slips. Notice what part of your body tightens first. Then practice maintaining cue consistency through that discomfort. You're essentially training your muscle memory to stay reliable even when your nervous system wants to shift into panic mode. Layer 3. The leash as an emotional telegraph. The leash is the most direct physical connection between you and your dog. And most handlers do not realize how much emotional information they transmit through it every single second. When you are relaxed, your leash has a natural, easy drape. There's no tension running through it. Your dog can move comfortably. When you are anxious, you shorten your grip. You stiffen your arm. You create a constant low-level tension that runs directly into your dog's collar or harness. And that tension communicates one thing clearly: brace yourself. Here's a practical drill. Before any public training session, stand still for 30 seconds and consciously loosen your grip. Let the leash have slack. Shake out your arm. Roll your shoulders back. Take 3 slow breaths where the exhale is twice as long as the inhale. This isn't wellness theater. This is resetting your physiological baseline before you ask your dog to respond to you. You are calibrating the instrument before you play it. And during the session, check your leash tension every 60 seconds. Not your dog's behavior, your leash tension. Make it a habit. If it is tight, you've drifted back into the anxiety state. Reset before you continue. Layer 4. Environmental staging. Now let us talk about the environment itself. Because part of handler anxiety comes from putting yourself and your dog into situations you are not ready for yet. If your dog is still building reliability on basic behaviors, going to the busiest part of the dog park on a Saturday morning is not a training session. It's a stress test for both of you. And stress tests do not build skill. They just confirm where the limits currently are. Effective public training happens in a carefully staged progression. You start at the edge of a distraction environment, not in the middle of it. You work at a distance where your dog can still respond to you, and where you can still present your cues calmly and consistently. Then you gradually decrease that distance as reliability builds for both of you. Think of it as a distraction dial. 0 is your living room. 10 is the Saturday farmer's market with 100 strangers and free samples on the ground. You do not jump from 2 to 10. You move incrementally. 3, then 4, then 5. And every time you move up, you give yourself permission to also move back if needed. This isn't failure. This is intelligent training design. The reason so many handlers get stuck is that they push into level 8 situations with level 4 skills. Everything falls apart, and they interpret it as proof that their dog will never be reliable in public. It's not proof of that. It's just proof that you skipped steps 6 and 7. Layer 5. Redefining what success looks like this is the mindset shift that changes everything. In a public training session, success is not your dog performing perfectly. Success is you remaining calm, presenting clear cues, and ending the session before it deteriorates. That's it. If you maintained your breathing, kept your leash relaxed, gave 3 clean cues, and left before your dog hit their threshold, that is a win. That is a genuinely good session. Most handlers measure success by the dog's output. And because dogs in new environments are often inconsistent, the handler feels like they are failing constantly. This creates a feedback loop where your anxiety about being watched gets compounded by your anxiety about your dog's performance. And now you've got 2 panic streams running simultaneously. No wonder training falls apart. When you shift the metric to your own performance as a handler, your calm, your consistency, your timing, you take back control of something that's actually within your power. You can always control your breathing. You can always control your grip. You can always control whether you end the session at the right moment. And ironically, when you focus on those things, your dog's performance tends to improve almost automatically. Because a calm handler produces a calm dog. Putting it all together, here's what a properly structured public training session looks like when you apply all of this. You arrive at your chosen location and spend 2 minutes standing still before you start. You're not training yet. You're just breathing, loosening your grip, and letting your dog acclimate to the environment. Then you identify your success metric for this session. Not my dog will heel perfectly, but I will keep my leash relaxed and give 3 clean cues. Then you begin at a comfortable distance from the highest distraction. You run short repetitions, 30 to 60 seconds of active training, then a break, then another round. You check your leash tension regularly. If someone walks by and you feel the anxiety spike, you pause, you breathe, you reset. You do not try to push through the anxiety spike with more cues. You wait until you are recalibrated before you ask for another behavior. And when you are done, you end on something easy, a simple sit, a quick reward, something that lets both of you leave on a positive note. Do this consistently, not perfectly, consistently, and something starts to shift. The public environment stops feeling like a test you might fail and starts feeling like a training ground you know how to use. You stop dreading the walk. You stop bracing for embarrassment. You start showing up as the handler your dog has been waiting for all along. Because here's the payoff to everything we've talked about today. The moment you stepped out of the house and your dog fell apart, that wasn't your dog failing you. That was your dog responding faithfully to the signal you were sending. Tension, alarm, performance pressure, they read it perfectly. They responded exactly as a well-tuned dog should respond to a handler communicating distress. The good news is that the same sensitivity that transmitted your anxiety can transmit your calm. Your dog is already watching you that closely. You just have to give them something different to read. If this resonated with you, here's what I want you to do before your next walk. Just one thing. Before you step outside, stand still for 30 seconds. Loosen your grip on the leash. Take 3 slow breaths. And set one intention, not for your dog, but for yourself. Stay calm. That's the whole job today. You do not need a perfect session. You need a calm one. And if you want to go deeper on building real public confidence with your dog, the next video is already queued up and it goes further into distraction training progressions that work even when everything around you is chaos. Go watch it. Thanks for watching. If you loved this video, scan the QR code on the screen right now to subscribe and join the Pawsome Life family. Give your dog a belly rub for us, and we will see you in the next video.